What the hell? Yo, shouts to everybody who's tuning in. Appreciate you guys for tuning in right now. Hold on. Why my journey is always it's so damn far. Anyways, another State of the New York Knicks podcast. Shouts to everybody. Shouts to Rick for the instrumental. I wanted to play this real quick, right? I wanted to play this little audio that I've heard since earlier. And obviously, the Knicks Summer League has ended, right? And we ended the Summer League 1-4. I was kind of disappointed in that. I felt like the Knicks Summer League team could have been way better. There was things that happened on the Summer League team that I didn't like. I didn't like the selfish play. I think that was the main reason why the Knicks did not get, a lot of Summer League wins. But the individual play from some of our young guys was really great. I wanted to share this little excerpt from Fred Katz. Shout out to Fred Katz, which is actually on my page right now. Fred Katz, he gives a lot of insight. So shout out to all you Knicks fans who, listen to Fred Katz. I want y'all to listen to Fred Katz real quick, talking about Pacome Daddier, and then we go and get the Pacome Daddier Summer League season. By the way, Pacome Daddier looks a little bigger, looks a little stronger, 6'8", still 19. I believe he turns 20 July 27th. It is July 20th right now. So shouts to Pacome Daddier. But let's hear a little bit from Fred Katz,
Daddier didn't shoot the ball great last season. I will say the one thing that has me intrigued about him as a jump shooter is that I talk to people with the Knicks and they tell me that, like, in their practice settings and their internal metrics, Daddier's shooting percentages are insanely good. And that might mean nothing. It might mean nothing.
I mean, for me personally, Tibbs don't even practice. That was already reported. So if Tibbs don't practice, I'm taking into account anything I hear from a practice setting. That's just me personally. Shouts to Fred Katz. Let's continue on with Fred Katz speaking.
However, I kind of have PTSD on this because over the first 2 years of Deuce McBride's career, when he was shooting 30% from the field and had an elbow that went every which way on his jumper, and I was extremely skeptical about his ability to score well enough to be able to be a rotation player in the league, I would talk to people with the Knicks, including Tibbs, by the way, and be like, but he can't shoot. It doesn't look good. The ball doesn't look good and doesn't go in. Like, he can't.
All right.
Why do you think he can shoot? And they would say to me that these exact metrics that I'm citing right now with Daddier behind the scenes of just like how he's shooting in practice, like Deuce had some of the best numbers on the team in those and stuff that Tibbs would say. I mean, Tibbs said this in interviews on the record. Like, Tibbs would say, like, there's a progression to this kind of stuff. Like, you don't just all of a sudden just start doing it in games. Like, you do it in drills, and then you do it in practices, and then you do it in games. And if you're doing it in drills, that's a great sign. If you're a good worker, that's a great sign you're going to get there. So Tibbs was always really high on McBride's ability to shoot the ball, even when he was shooting 30% from the field over his first 2 years. And it was because it was happening in practice. And Tibbs was just like, this is going to keep happening. Like, this is eventually going to show in games. Now, for what it's worth, when people are like, Tibbs doesn't ever develop anybody who has Tibbs developed, this is one of the reasons why I'm like, I don't know where you're getting that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this was like not an obvious thing that Tibbs was able to recognize and find.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Knicks in general as an organization, it wasn't just Tibbs. Like, it was the Knicks in general as an organization that they were
like, love his point about Pacome Daddier. Love his point about Deuce McBride. Shouts to Deuce McBride, my backup point guard for next season. Pacome Daddier, the height, the size, the 6'8". Love the fact that he had the 17 points in one of the summer league games, and all of his 17 points came mainly off ball. Off ball cuts, getting to the rim, transition. Off ball threes. Just being a great off ball player, and that's something that you want to see from a guy like Pape Diawa. But in practice, if it's translating, then that's something that we need to look at. The Knicks is in the first apron, by the way, right? So it's hard for us to build our team right now. We're trying to round out the roster. We're trying to round out the roster as far as, can you get another playmaker? But you're also trying to round out the roster with a lot of your young guys. OKC just won a championship. And when I watched OKC win a championship with the second youngest roster to ever win a championship outside of the Portland Trailblazers, I forgot what year that was, 1970 something. I don't want to give Knicks fans the wrong date, but that's a long time ago. So why would I need a vet? What do I need a vet for? Or for what? I don't need a vet. If that's the case, sign two young guys. I just wrote a Substack recently, and I'm gonna put it out. Just talking about the Knicks roster right now. I believe the Knicks got 2 roster spots. I believe they have a vet minimum, and I believe the Knicks also have the second round exemption. Right? Shouts to my boy Wizard Kelly. Yeah, man. Shouts to my boy Wizard Kelly. Shouts to Bones, man. Salute, brother. Stay much blessings. Salute to you too. So a guy like Mike Brown needs to try to figure out how he's going to get all these young guys on the court. That's what you need to figure out. And for me, when I hear stuff like this for Pape Diawa and just seeing the way he scores, Pape Diawa definitely will fit into this rotation, but it's hard to get him in this rotation right now without a trade. Because the way I look at the Knicks bench right now, I got Deuce McBride, Jordan Clarkson, Josh Hart, Garrison Yabusele, Mitchell Robinson. There's a hole in the starting lineup. I'm not starting Mitchell Robinson. I'm not starting Josh Hart. I'm not starting either player. Because when you start either player, it presents another set of problems that I want to avoid. Mitchell Robinson, you got to pay him. You got to, when you going to pay him? I don't know when we're going to pay him. So for me, when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me bring him off the bench. Let me bring him along slowly. I don't want to rush him out of there. Maybe he'll start in the middle of the season. But I think he would be best served coming off the bench. His health is most important. And he's in a contract season. He's going to get paid regardless, bro. I think Jonathan Macri put this stat on the timeline earlier. I think Mitchell Robinson is like 1 or 2 players who've been drafted that's not been an all-star, who stayed with their team the past 8 seasons. In the past 8 years, like I think that was a nice stat, I just, when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I don't want to start him. We damn sure can't start Josh Hart. So if we can't start those 2 guys, I'm looking for the next option. I'm looking for the next, because that's a powerful bench. I know Mitch and Josh Hart is not shooters, but you can mix and match them. You don't necessarily have to play them together, right? You don't have to play, like Josh Hart literally never has to see a minute with Mitchell Robinson on the court, like ever. Like he don't never have to see a minute, like literally ever. You don't have to see a minute. So I'm like, okay, if that's my bench unit, who's going to be in my starting 5? So when I hear stuff about like this about Pape Diawa, it gives me hope, right? It gives me a little hope. And, Pape Diawa had a so-and-so summer league. It was so-and-so. It wasn't really nothing to bring home about outside of the game where he had 17 points. My only beef about the summer league really nobody was really passing the ball. Really, it was really a lot of individual play. And just going back to Pacome Dadier, he's our 6'8" wing who played. Well, he got a 7-foot wingspan. Who played for Reformium ULM in Germany, right? Started his career very early. Played a lot of pro games at a young age. So it should be easy for him as he gets older. He's 19 right now. He's about to be 20 soon. Him to get acclimated into the USA game. So I'm excited about Pacome Dadier. Shouts to, Jalen Brunson. Obviously, his pictures today. He's been in the gym. Shouts to my guy, Jalen Brunson. Shouts to everybody who comes to Fred Wines and Liquor. That's right there on 113th and Lenox and, Harlem, right in the midst of Harlem. I'm about to go there, actually, after this live stream. But let's get right into the Summer League. And, the Summer League, once again, the Knicks was 1-4. And I already spoke about Pacome Dadier. Another guy that I wanted to bring up was Mohamed Diawa. Well, Diawa. Well, I always butcher the name. And I loved his Summer League. I felt he played well in Summer League, right? Mohamed Diawa, 20 years old, Paris, France. That's where he's from. I feel like he could play small forward, power forward, and center, which he played in Summer League. The Knicks had him in multiple lineup combinations. I remember in the Wizards game, there was at one point with Mohamed Diawa or Diarra, whatever. I remember he was playing center, and that's something that you like to see, right? That's something that you love to see. You love to see the positional versatility, right? And he played for Cholet Basket. He played 4 games for the Knicks Summer League team, and he averaged 22 minutes per game, right? 7 points per game. 40% from the field. You want to get that higher. 15.4% from 3. Now, for me personally, I love the 3-point attempts that he tried to do. Right? I love the 3-point attempt because the 3-point attempts that he tried to do was unorthodox. Like, I'm not expecting for him to catch the ball off an inbounds play in the corner, jab step, one dribble, step back 3. I'm not expecting that. But the fact that he tried it tells me he got a lot of confidence. He got a lot of confidence. That's something that you like to see when it comes to a guy like Mohamed Diawa, right? The fact that he can handle the basketball, and that's something else that a lot of us Knicks fans wanted to see when it comes to Mohamed Diawa, right? Keep butchering his name. So for the regular season, for the Summer League season, he has 5.3 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists. He averaged 1.3 steals, so that was a grammatical error by me. And some of the notes that I have here, he's a confident ball handler, right? So the Knicks used him in 3-4 pick and roll situations. They used him in 4-5 pick and roll situations, right? They used him in pick and roll situations where he had James Najee coming up and setting him to pick. And that's something that I like to see from a guy like Mohamed, right? But 0 blocks. I have an issue with that. It was also reported, back in his France days that he had a lower block percentage than Deuce McBride. So for him to have 0 blocks, that's connecting with the scouting report. The Knicks got to do a better job. Not do a better job because we first seen the guy play. But over the course of this offseason, make sure he knows to keep your hands up, bro. Keep your hands up. There was a couple of pass plays where I said, if Mohamed had his hands up, he would have got a steal. Easy. But he averaged 1.3 steals, so that's something that you like. The coast-to-coast game, I seen a steal where he took the ball out, dual hands, went coast-to-coast for a layup. Something that you like to see. I didn't know he had that in his game. I didn't know. Perimeter threat, right? He took a couple of step-back threes in the last game. I'm assuming that it was the last game, so he's like, all right, I'm going to empty the clip. And I respect something like that from Mohamed. But I love the positional versatility. The Knicks, you got to lock in on this. Don't let him just walk up out the door, man. You don't let dudes.
Yeah, I'm ready. I got my
dudes like that, honestly, you don't let dudes like that walk up out the door.
NBA socks on. They give them.
You don't like dudes like that. You make sure that those guys, and I'm trying to fix this real quick. You make sure that those guys can always help you in a setting where your two best players, and shouts to Mama Diawa with the nice step back three. You got to make sure that all your players around you, tall, versatile, can defend, can hit the three-point shot. So this pick, I don't know who made this pick. I don't know if it was Mike Brown. I don't know if it was Walt Perrin. I don't know if Mike Brown had a hand in this pick. But I love the pick. I love the pick. Shouts to James Nanji with the dunk right there. I love the pick, though. The Knicks need to hone in on more prospects that got positional versatility. And shouts to Dink Pape, because that's what I was going to talk about next. Because he's a guy, I'm like, hey, give me the new John Starks. Knicks haven't had an undrafted player who is great in 30-plus seasons. Right, Jeremy Lin, he had a nice February, and then he died out. You know, Melo came back, and, you know, it's murder she wrote. But John Starks, you know, packing grocery bags. We know Dink Pape wasn't packing grocery bags. The man was signed by Reebok, I believe. Right, the man he was the youngest professional. I mean, he started being professional at 17 years old. Right, he played 50 games professionally. Right, for the G League Ignite and Mexico City. So let me get this off the screen here. All right, and I love the talent. I love the talent. Me personally, when you got a guy like that, you need to make sure. You need to make sure in your heart of hearts, all right, you know what? I'm gonna make sure this guy, I'm make sure we put some time into this guy, right? And let me make sure I put the share screen here. Shouts to all the Knicks fans that's tuning in right now. Make sure we put the share screen right here. Dink Pape, right? 6'8" guard, 6'10" wingspan from Dallas, Texas. Standout for me in the summer league. He played 5 games for the Knicks. He have a 17.6 minutes per game, 9.8 points per game, 40% from the field. You know, you don't like that. You never like that, right? But he also shot 50% from 3 and 88.9% from the free throw line. You love the 3-point percentage and you love the free throw percentage. Another thing you gotta love, the 6.8 rebounds per game, the 2.8 assists. He had 1 turnover, by the way, but after a while, when Tyler Kolek was messing up, the coach was like, hey, you know what? We're gonna put Dink Pape more on ball. He averaged 0.6 steals, 0.4 blocks. I wish he got that up more. Right? For the G League Ignite in Mexico City, he averaged 10.3 points per game, 4.8 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game, 0.7 steals. 24.8 minutes per game, 21.8 usage rate with a 50.7 true shooting percentage. You love to catch and shoot 3-point percentage, though, at 37.5. And you also love the fact, if I didn't repeat it before, that he's played 50 pro games since the age of 17. So he's been in this kind of environment before. His last game, he had 20 and 10 for the Wizards. You love the fact that he had 20 and 10 versus the Wizards. Each game in this summer league, Dink Pape has gotten better and better and better. Remember his first game, he was 1 for 8. He was still a +4, though. He was 1 for 8. But he's been getting better and better and better. And that's something, me personally, that's something that I like to see. That's something that I think that us Knicks fans, we need to like lock in, hone in on, because a guy like Dink Pape, if you have him, it makes your cap situation kind of easier to swallow, pause. So let's say if he's in the rotation. First of all, you're going to have to convert his contract, because he is undrafted signing. So you're going to have to convert his contract. I give him a 4-year. If he shows up in training camp, though, he got to show up in training camp. But I give him a 4-year and see how he does in the rotation. See what he could do. See what kind of things he could do. See if he can work off the dribble. See if he can play on ball. See if he can play off ball. We know he can rebound. I need him to play a little defense. See, right here, when he catches this windmill, the windmill was crazy, by the way. The windmill was crazy. I said, oh, nah, I didn't know he had that in his game. But you need a gem. That is the one thing the Knicks have always been missing. They've always been missing a gem, an out-of-nowhere guy. Leon Rose has always gotten guys that's like, yeah, that was a layup. Like OG Anunoby, that was a layup. Like, we kind of knew OG Anunoby was going to be here. Ian Bagley, all of them reported it. Shouts to OG Anunoby when he first got here. I seen an on-off plus minus for OG. I think it was like a plus 22.4. Like, shouts to OG, man. I'm still a little sick from the other day, man. His plus minus, he's plus minus God. Right? He's plus minus God. Shouts to OG, man. But you got Dink Pape. You got Muhammad, right? Tyler Coley. He had a rough 2 games to start the summer league, but he showed up the last 3 games, right? You got Pacome Dadier. You got Ariel Hakaporti. He showed a little offensive chops during summer league, but you got Marchand B. Champ. Love him. Love the story. Posted about him. Sayonara. Love him, by the way. Sayonara. I'm good. Love the talent. I'm good. Not right now. Not for what this team needs, me personally. This team needs athletic guys. You already got all your skill guys. You got your guys that play up under the below the rim. You got your skilled big, right? And Karl-Anthony Towns, who's a shooter, who's a floor spacer. You got your, you got your wings, you got your Mikal, you got your OG, you got all of that. You just need playmaking and athleticism. That's what the Knicks is missing. Those 2 ingredients right there. If they could get that settled, I'm good. I'm good. If they could get that settled. Shouts to D Black. I'm good. I'm definitely good. But with that said, let me go out. Let me enjoy my nice Sunday. Shouts to Bruce Lee. My uncle loved Bruce Lee, man. My pops love Bruce Lee too. Shouts to Jean Grey. Love X-Men. Can't wait to Fantastic Four. Let me see what Dr. Doom is working with. Let me see if they get the Dr. Doom character correct. Love all you Knicks fans that tuned in today. I'm just checking in with y'all. Y'all already heard the audio podcast. I got that out right now on Spotify. It's on a lot of streaming joints, man. I think it's on like 10 different platforms, 10 plus different platforms. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate FeedSpot. I'm always top 4 on there. It's great to see that. Appreciate you Knicks fans that support me from overseas, man. Europe, Australia, and all of you guys. I think the second most listeners I got is from Australia. So appreciate Australians, man. All my Aussies out there, man. And appreciate you Knicks fans once again. God bless you guys. Another Sunday where we wake up and we could breathe, right? You guys have a blessed day. I'm out of here, man. Salute. It's your boy State.